Hi, everyone. Welcome to the final round of the social media guest speaker series. This one's specifically about a social media outlet for lawyers called Avvo.
Avvo. Yeah, Avvo,
Avvo.
Avvo.
Avvo. And for our guest today, we have Michael Palumbo, who had been a police officer in Connecticut from 1992 to 2000, and afterwards he graduated from Pace University Law School in 2001. Currently, Michael Palumbo is the founder of AttackThatTicket.com, a law firm that specializes in practices exclusively speeding ticket, moving violations, and DWI defense. He is personally licensed in New York, Connecticut, and Vermont. In addition, he has affiliate counsel in New Jersey, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Ohio, and is continuing to rapidly expand his network. Palumbo also services the legal community in other states by doing legal marketing for lawyers who have or are interested in building a traffic ticket and DUI defense practice. He uses Avvo extensively, but he also uses Facebook and Twitter. He's building an app, so he's very interested in digital marketing and how a solo practitioner can take advantage of that. So without further ado, please welcome Michael Palumbo.
Thanks. I'm loud enough. I don't need this, but it's being videotaped. So, Kristen said this was a social media. Avvo is really. I wouldn't really define it as social media, but I guess you can define it. Avvo is more. Almost like a Yelp for attorneys, but it's more than that. Which I guess Yelp is social media. You can get things. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty good. And just to give you a little context and about this, Avvo and whatnot. What this is, what Avvo helps you do is have an internet presence. A lot of you folks are either young attorneys or are going to be attorneys soon, and it's and as you probably know, it's a bleak job market. But you can make money as a lawyer. Unquestionably, you need to go into your own business. You need to be thinking about from the get-go going into your own business, and internet marketing is integral to that. And it's really important from the beginning to control and have a positive internet presence. What Avvo is it's a website that a guy in Seattle got a bright idea, and we all know everything electronic and caffeine related comes from Seattle. So the guy lives in Seattle, and he says, there's a minimal amount of, and you can see it says lawyer. Oh, it actually says lawyer legal advice and ask a lawyer. Another tab comes up. They do doctors and dentists now, but they started with lawyers. He said, there's a minimum quantum of information about every attorney out there. So why don't I create this website, Avvo, and then I'll allow attorneys to claim their profiles, and they can claim them for free, or they can claim them for money they can pay for it and get more out of Avvo. But whether you like it or not, one day you're going to have an Avvo profile with a minimal amount of information about you, and it's going to be the identical information that's out there about you. On the Office Court Administration website. And it's the easiest, quickest, and most cost-effective way, especially as an attorney starting out. Even if you work in a firm, you want to start bringing your own business in. It's the simplest way of starting and maintaining and having a positive internet presence. So someone wants, now people will, there's a couple ways people find it. They'll need a lawyer for, do traffic tickets, a traffic ticket lawyer, Suffolk County, and they might Google that, and a whole bunch of law firms or attorney names come up. Avvo could just be one of them, and then they click on Avvo, and then they're going to have other menus within Avvo. Or someone knows about Avvo. The owners of Avvo have done a very good job in disseminating Avvo to the general public. So someone might go on to Avvo, so you see he's got to find a lawyer, and someone clicks on find a lawyer. And this comes up. So it says, search for top-rated lawyers, near you. It says, Huntington Station, New York, because I guess it knows our IP address. and let's just say, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in an attorney's name, a friend of mine who's not cleaned his Avvo profile, so you see what it looks like. But you could put in here, you could search for, speeding ticket. So even if you don't know a lawyer's name, okay, where's the enter button here? Oh, here it is. That work? No. Okay. So some civilian comes on, bumbles onto it. He has a speeding ticket and, whatever. And look who comes up. This other guy, Gary Miller. I'm second, and this other guy is third. Now, for that second listing and us three lawyers there, we pay for that. That's an additional fee that I'm paying for. But let's just say, so bad. Kristen, maybe I should have had you give me that mouse. How do I scroll this thing back up? Oh, here we go. I got it. Okay. So let's just say, someone told you to search for a lawyer named Ronnie Ritz. Ronnie Ritz is a really good lawyer. Oh, I use this guy, Ronnie Ritz, as my lawyer. You come here. And okay. So even though, it said, it had a Suffolk County, Huntington Station, it's going to search the entire state of New York because it also said Huntington Station, New York. And so Ronnie comes up, and this is an Avvo profile of someone who never claimed it. Okay, this is what you're going to have whether you want to use Avvo or not. Basically, all this information is basically on the Office of Court Administration's website. The Avvo rating, obviously, is something that Avvo does. So because he's been around for like 20 years or so, they give him, a 6.5 rating, and there's just very minimal information about him. Now, you can see over here it says, is this you? You can claim the profile. So you click on the link, and, you follow through the matrix and whatnot. And, if there's a problem, you can call the 800 number, you can claim the profile. And so, and then what he could do, he could put pictures up. There's, let me show you, I'm just going to show you a claim profile. It'll be easier to explain. So this is what it's going to be there whether you want to use it or not. So an attorney, she's a friend of mine, Anna Goldman, and she's an attorney on Staten Island. Anna Goldman, okay? So Anna recently claimed her profile, and this is what it looks like, all right? So she claimed it. She did not pay for it, so this is free, okay? You can see on Ronnie's and this profile on the right, you still have advertisements. When you pay for, your account, those advertisements don't come up. And then she's able to do all this stuff. You can pick up the 7 practice areas, tell people how you how you accept payment and whatnot. And then there's a whole bunch of tchotchke stuff down here that she hasn't filled in, she speaks Russian and whatnot. And civilians can go on and review the lawyer. They could write a review about an experience with her. Which is huge. Let me tell you something. One of these days, when you're in business for yourself, you have a website or you're using Avvo, reviews self-sell you. I would have never thought it. I have a marketing consultant that I deal with. I've used Kristen in the past. Kristen's a great resource for you guys for social media. I've used her as a consultant. I paid her to do some work for me. I have a full-service marketing consultant. He told me you need testimonials. And I figure, anyone can make, I don't believe testimonials. You can make them up, But you know what? I don't make them up. Okay, people email me back, thank you very much. I put it on my website. I direct them to this. I ask people to write testimonials for me here. Not like when, they got found guilty as charged, but, the ones where the tickets were dismissed. I'm a traffic ticket lawyer mostly. So, and people quote what my testimonials. They'll say, no, I'll start explaining the service. They go, you know what? I've already read about you, and I'll quote something that someone wrote about me, and then I just, shut up and I close the deal. So testimonials are huge. So I'm going to show you mine now, to show you the difference between, of course, how do I go back? Oh. Yeah, we're just going to click right into me. Michael Palumbo, where is it? Profile. So I have an 8.9 rating at Avvo, and you can't control that. You can't pay them $1 gazillion to give you a 10, because I've tried. But I pick my practice areas, and this is important. I think a little aside and whatnot. But this is listen. I got gray hair and a supplemental waistline. Okay, I'm a lot older than you guys, but I've only been practicing law for 12 years, so I'm much closer to you guys as it pertains to the business model than someone who has been practicing law since 1987, which I haven't. I've only been practicing law since 2001. Yeah, I remember sitting in lectures like this, hearing about how you build a law practice and whatnot, and everyone said you got to specialize, and you're sitting there going like, I'm going to open my doors one day, and I'm going to take anything that walks through the door because I need the money. But you know what? You got to specialize, okay? And I brought some cards, just as an aside, with the secondary ticket, the secondary card I just gave you. You're going to call me for a traffic ticket case. And there you go. I mean, the reality is there's a lot of business out there, okay? And if you try to hold yourself out as being everything to everybody, you're no one to anybody. Everyone wants a specialist. If you're getting divorced, you don't want a traffic ticket lawyer. Or you don't want a guy that says, I do divorces, right after that personal injury case I settled. You don't need that guy, And he could actually be a good lawyer. And, we do personal injury. My law partner, he manages our personal injury practice. He manages the marketing for that. We have a separate website for that. And we also do commercial collections, which is, we deal with businesses, and you don't advertise in a retail fashion for that. So you want to specialize. So when you go to Avvo here, you see that I'm a traffic ticket lawyer, DWI lawyer, criminal defense lawyer. And if that's the problem you have, and that's the problem you're looking for, you're going to call me before you call a guy that says he does 25% speeding tickets, 15% probate. It just doesn't make any sense. You want the pie chart looking like this. Now, the way you, and again, the Avvo rating, people quote this to me. I'm calling you because I was very impressed. You have an 8.9 Avvo rating. But how you get an Avvo rating is by filling out first of all, your time as an attorney. You can't help that. So as you go on, the longer you're an attorney, they're going to bump that up a little bit. But all this stuff you fill in, for example, these client reviews, I got 108 of them. They max you out. After you get like 5 or 6, they'll bump you up for the first few you get, and then they're not going to bump you up anymore. But I have 108 client reviews. When I get a good result for someone, I send them the link. I ask them, could you give me a client review? I got 108 positive ones, and if I've done nothing right, is by having this build up, and people call me because of it. They'll see it, and then they pick up the phone. You notice here there's a it used to be an 800 number. It says 914 now. But anyhow, there's a number here. Because I pay them about $300 a month, I get this number and I get analytics. Whereas I can look in it, I can sign into my account and see who clicked in, from here into my website. These phone numbers, they'll get a list of the phone numbers of the people that call me, their locations. And so you can kind of identify, I spoke to that person. I remember who that person was. So you know that work is coming into you from this. And if you don't have a website, it'll just come to you from this. This could be your first website. So there's a bunch of stuff down here. Endorsements from other attorneys. Again, you get a bunch of peer endorsements from other attorneys, your friends. Yes. No, this is supplemental. You can get into my website from here. There's a link on it. Visit website. You see this? Visit website, or they can email me through here. And if you click on visit website, it goes into my website. That's my website. So, and I think there is a link for link. I think there is a way of doing it with Twitter and see, I don't see it. See, I'm looking right at it. I don't see it. Oh, there you go. I see it. Yeah. But what you want to do is you want now whether or not you pay for it or not, you could do all the stuff that I did to it to bump up your Avvo rating. 'Cause that's the first thing they're going to see. This stuff here, endorsements and whatnot. This tchotchke stuff here. Well, I'm licensed in Connecticut, Vermont, and that's another thing. If you're licensed in numerous states, they're only going to give you one profile. Because I wanted a Vermont profile as well. They wouldn't give it to me. But I have like the ads that come up on the side that you saw before for traffic tickets. They let me buy that, but they wouldn't give me a separate profile for Vermont. This stuff here, education. Why do I put in trial advocacy from 2002? Because the more education you have, they bump up your rating. If I took this off, this National Institute for Trial Advocacy from 2002, my Avvo rating would come down a little bit. No one really cares if you graduate cum laude or where but by putting cum laude, you get a bump up in your Avvo rating. Pace University, 2000, I did a client counseling competition. Like, who cares? But you know what? It bumps up your Avvo rating, and that's what you want on Avvo, And, associations. This is good because if in this column here, being a member of an association doesn't really mean much to Avvo, but again, being a member of some helps. But if you're a chairman or if you're a president of something like, if you're an officer in an organization, that gives you a huge bump up. So, I'm not an officer or anything because, I'm just not that important. But, I'm a committee member for the Boy Scouts. I'm a past committee member. Like, why would I put this in here? First of all, no one really sees it. You got to click on it. But I can legitimately hold myself out as a committee member on something, and it gave me an Avvo bump up when I put that up here. But, like, no one cares. No one really is even going to look at it other than than you guys. And when you write articles, where are they? There's a link for articles somewhere. Publications or something like that. Oh, here we go. A case. Oh, all right. Keeps going on. You're allowed to put some of your cases up here. So every now and then I put stuff up here, but I'm kind of lazy, so I haven't done that in a long time. If you write articles, that gives you an Avvo bump up. But not only does it do that, people like to see this stuff. And I just want to show you something. A very easy way of you guys spreading your name when you become an attorney. So I linked into it. Is by writing articles to like local bar journals. Okay, so I finally, after like forever, I've been contacting the Westchester County Bar Association. I'm an attorney. I live in my office in Westchester, and I've been asking them, can I do like a small article every week, every month, like a small article and maybe a couple big ones and whatnot. They finally got back to me, and they're always they're always looking for articles, but I write these little tchotchke articles. In the Westchester County Bar Journal. Literally, it's here. Here we go. A little piece, 300 words, out-of-state licenses and moving violation. Out-of-state licensees, they wrote licenses, but they should have said licensees, and moving vehicle violations. So it's a little piece written to other professionals with things to look out for if they ever are representing someone who does not have a driver's license in New York State and the problems it can cause for an out-of-state license holder. It takes you no time to do something like this if you're familiar with your practice area to write a little article. And what ends up happening is you now all of a sudden are an authority on that to your little local bar association, and guess who's going to start referring you business? Other lawyers. They're going to have this magazine right there. Their buddy's going to call them and say, my kid got a ticket, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't do that stuff, but let me give you this guy's phone number. So it's a way of marketing yourselves on the cheap because I don't pay for this, you know, so you know, Avvo is, you know, it's a way of getting your name out there quickly and cost effectively, and doing stuff like this is as well. I think pretty much that's it. I mean, this is what Avvo's about. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah. Yeah, you know, I can't find it from here, but there's a way that civilians can ask questions. The reason I can't find it is that I have my Avvo account set up that if anyone asks a question about criminal matter, DWI matter, speeding ticket matter in New York, it hits my email, and then from there I answer the questions, and I get business through that too, you know. And what's nice about that is I got that linked up to Twitter. I don't know if you looked at my Twitter account lately, and I use that to constantly update Twitter on what I do. So I'll answer a question in Avvo. Someone asks a question, oh, I got a speed ticket in Suffolk County, and can I beat the points? I don't know, that's generally what they ask, you know, something like that. And I'll respond back, and I'll hit yes, publish this to Twitter as well. So it goes directly into Twitter. I'm staying active on Twitter, and people are, you know, could follow me. And what's nice about Avvo is they hashtag it for you. So those key words like speeding, they kind of hashtag it for you so other people can find it who are looking for it as well. It's pretty comprehensive. So yeah, you can answer questions on Avvo, but you know, I forgot all about that. No, it doesn't help your rating, but I'd say 2 or 3 times a week I get a direct lead from Avvo and whatnot. You know, someone will email me, and you know, they'll email me through Avvo, through that email link, and they'll say, you know, you answered a question for me, or so it helps it gets leads. It's all about, you know, making that phone ring. And by the way, your phone will start ringing one day. Believe me, it will. And when it does, you're going to have to know what to tell people. And this is what I brought. I just want to show you this book. If you don't get this book, you shouldn't be like in private practice. How to Master the Art of Selling, Tom Hopkins. Because this tells you, basically, it just, you know, you've all taken trial advocacy, or you're going to take trial advocacy, right? You're gonna, and what are you trying to do? You're trying to sell your side of the story to a jury. This is the exact same thing. You're trying to sell your side of the story to a potential lead that's going to call, that calls you, and you've all maybe you've taken trial advocacy, maybe you haven't, but you've all had professors that have told you how to present things to a jury, or you know, how to advocate, how to do persuasive avocation. But it's the same. This book is just basically that, what we do as a profession on the front end. And you know, it's a great book, and it turned. I mean, I'm pretty good at converting, you know, no's to yeses. I was pretty good at it to begin with, but this makes it so much easier, you know. And they just want me so much more. You know, like you know, I don't got to beat them up into wanting me anymore. They want me now, you know. But and it just shows you how to explain your service or your product, in a, you know, in a much easier way, much more digestible way to the client. And it taught you, and really taught me, your phone's going to ring one day, and someone's going to be saying, you know, I need this legal help. My wife filed divorce papers on me. And you're going to know they need to deal with it. And they're going to be asking you a million questions, a million kind of like, you know, what you might perceive to be hostile questions. They're really not. They're just objections. They're just a way of the person slowing down the conversation so he can digest what you're explaining to him. And that's what I never really realized before. And objections are good because they ask an objection, you answer it. They ask, you answer it. They ask, you answer it. And that process will lead them to hiring you. Another guy, a friend of mine, does a lot of marketing. He said, he told me, you know, first people get to know you, then they get to like you, and then they want to do business with you. But, you know, answering objectionable questions on a phone or in person when someone comes in for a consultation is their way of getting to know you and like you. It's actually a positive thing, because if they're just sitting there listening to you monologue, they're probably not going to retain your service. It means they're interested. So it's a great book, Tom Hopkins, how to master the art of selling, and you will convert the phone call to a client a lot easier. Any other questions? Well, I told you I'd be brief. She said, I'm walking out of here 6:15 or not. I'm like, I'll be brief. Nothing at all? Yes. It's true. So you go to one of these places like they got in Westchester County, 500 Marinick Avenue. You get a virtual office. It'll cost you $300-400 a month. But it's not like one of these, there's someone there that is trained to, you could train these people a certain quantum, a certain percentage to understand your business. So they can answer the phone in your name. Hi, it's law firm Michael Palumbo. Is he there? No, he's not in right now. Would you like to leave a voice message? Yes, I would. You could set it up so that voice message hits your cell phone. You can call him back in 5 minutes. You just get one of those virtual offices for a couple $100 a month. And, for that couple $100 a month, especially when you're starting out, you have a conference room to use, It looks like a regular office. People don't know any different. Basically, yeah. And even now, when I first started practicing law, lawyers said, I went out on my own in 2006. From 2001 or 2002, whenever, to 2006, I worked for insurance companies. When in 2001, the business model first starting out was still go hook up with some lawyers, go rent some space with some lawyers, like a suite of lawyers, and they'll mentor you, and that was like the business model. Other lawyers would mentor you, even just a short 12 years ago. And you will pick up some work, from these other lawyers, some per diem work and all that stuff, and you could bounce things off these people. But nowadays, the market has shrunk drastically because all these gigantic law firms went out of business. Everyone's scrambling around for money. No one's going to mentor you anymore. A friend of mine had a lawyer tell him, I'm not here to train my competition. So basically, it certainly is not a bad thing to be in a suite of lawyers and to be picking up some per diem work, but the lawyers that are out there nowadays don't really have your interest at heart, But you have to learn a practice area. So let's say you want to be a matrimonial lawyer. You got to go to work for somebody. It's just the bottom line. You could understand in law school, and you could sit in court and watch it, and maybe you could have done something with one of these judges as a clerkship for 3 months and not getting paid. That's a great way of learning too. You got to learn your practice area to the point where you're really confident in doing it out on your own. And even if you have to work for someone for free, for a few months, they're going to give you more work than if they're paying you to do stuff. You need to learn the principal proceedings in any area of the law. You need to know the principal orders to show cause, the principal motions, and whatnot, the way things are really done, the doctrine of the way it's done here, and how to negotiate a case. And if you're doing personal injury, you got to learn the nuances of the insurance companies. You got to learn that Geico's good and Allstate's bad. These are the things you got to learn, and you got to learn, and you got to learn how to deal with the Medicaid and Medicare liens. You got to know how to do the no-fault filings. These are all the stuff they don't teach you in law school. But after a year of whatever area you want, you're going to be pretty conversant in it. And all the while, you should be building your own website and having your own Avvo. You should always be trying to pull work in yourself, because when you bring work into a firm, if they ain't giving you a piece of it, call me. I will. Because it doesn't make any sense. You're going to give, you're going to refer your boss, a personal injury case. He's not going to give you a third of it. That's the business, So anyhow, any other questions? I just hope the cookies here are as good as they are in Pace University, which is my alma mater. Thanks for everything.